decided to click on this video. Today, me and my brother will be making blacksmithing knives with zero experience. Okay, so we are attempting to make these certain types of knives. They're called blacksmithing blades. They're all one piece of metal. We got the blade, curve around, and one handle, all one piece. We've never done any blacksmithing before. I've messed around a little bit with a few pieces of metal, and then I've worked with metal before, obviously. So we're gonna see how it goes. It's something I wanted to try for a while. We're just gonna send it. Okay, so the first step of this process is to be drawing out the handle. Basically, taking the metal, making a big spike out of it. I've drawn these animations for you guys to kind of visualize what we're doing. So yes, first step, take one end and make it a big spike. Okay, everything you just saw we did a few months ago, and here's where we're at the end of that. So now we are going to go ahead and take these to a knife state, so you guys will get to see that. Let's go ahead. Let's go! Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so I've drawn out the handle as much as I need for about 2 handle lengths with a little extra. This needs to be worked a little bit more, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to flattening out the blade section and getting it to a blade shape. So as you can see, I'm using the ball peen side to help draw it out quicker, and then I'll go back with the flat side of the bigger hammer to flatten it all out before I'm done. Okay, so on this blade, there's actually still remnants of the original rebar in there, the little bars on the rebar, and so I kind of like the look of it. Kind of brings it back to what this thing was originally made from. And so for like some grip here on the back of the blade, I am actually going to go through and pronounce those ridges even more, because we've lost them in the middle, so that they can be kind of these grip points for the back of my thumb on the back of this thing. So I'm going to start with the Dremel and then go in with a file, a small little triangular file, and smooth it all out and make it exactly where I want it to be. After experimenting for the past few days while we've been working on this, we found that digging a hole so that the air from our blower comes down as low as possible is the best system we've found, because then you get a hot bed of coals that you can set your piece of metal on top of and then put hot coals over it. That's how it heats up the best. And then we have all this insulation, so then we light it and we put these bricks on top. So the system is, we got some kindling down in there, some charcoal on it, throw a little bit of lighter fluid on there, light it on up, let it go for just a little bit so it starts to pick up. Once it grows big enough, we reach over and we flip on our air, starts really going, and then we take these bricks and we slap them right on top here. So it's all nice and insulated and the heat stays in there. And we let that go for a little bit, simmer down into a little bed of nice hot coals. Then we put our metal in there, brush the coals over. That's how we do that. Alright, next we're working on bending that tail end into our one piece of metal continuous handle shape. Okay, we're going to start curling the end here. But I think I wanted a little bit more out. But otherwise, that looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good handle.
Yeah, and I actually like the size of the blade with that once it's there like that. I want to pull that out a little bit more, but other than that. Okay, after some tweaking, this is what I ended up with. I'm really happy with the handle. I feel like it feels really nice in my hand. It's exactly the right size. Really happy with that. Obviously, based on the animations that I made, I wanted this to be quite a bit wider, but it just started to get a little too thin and it was just harder for me to work, and I started getting just cautious about cracking and all that stuff. So instead I just went ahead and stopped there. That's probably just partially because of I don't know what I'm doing and I don't have the right tools. Just all of the above probably, but I'm actually quite happy with it and I think it's gonna look nice, and I'm probably gonna have about this long and curve the blade out like this. So I'm gonna get started on that. But man, I'm super happy with how the forging came out. Now we can stop getting in all that heat because it is hot here in California. So happy to be away from the fire now. Now I can start up with the grinder. Okay, I've got my shape drawn in there. I'm gonna cut it out with the grinder. In order to grind in the bevels on the blade, I have clamped the blade down to the edge of this table, and I'm going to just be using a sanding disc on the grinder. Okay, got the grinding all done. I made sure to not bring the edge all the way to an edge so that it has a better chance of surviving through the heat treat. Is it thick enough? Should it be thinner or thicker? I don't know, did you read the title of this video? I'm winging it, bro. Okay, now we're moving on to the heat treating process. Now, to start off this process, we do something called normalize. This is me sticking the blade into the plier until it is red hot, then removing it and letting it completely cool. This just helps the atoms reorganize and get a little more uniform. I'm not 100% sure what this does, but this is what the videos online told me to do, so that's what I'm doing. Do your own research, because I'm definitely no expert. Next, I heat up the blade to a red hot state. Now I'm checking it with this magnet, because when steel gets hot enough, it becomes demagnetized. So the magnet will no longer stick to it, and then you want it just a little bit hotter than that. So I'm testing the blade here, then I dump it into the oil, hold it there for a little bit so that it all cools down. Now you have a short period of time after it cools down for a little bit to pull it out of the oil and re-straighten the blade, and then you let it cool for the rest of the way. After we have heat treated the blade, I put this blade in the oven twice for 2 hours at 420 degrees in order to soften it back up. So the blade gets really hard whenever you harden it and you do the heat treating process. Then if you were to drop it or anything, it would probably shatter. So we put it back in the oven to bring back the hardness a little ways so that it won't just shatter every time you try to use it. Alright, after sanding it all back down and sharpening it to the best of my ability, I'm probably going to send it with a buddy that has a bunch of sharpening stuff to get it really sharpened, but for now, you know, it's sharp enough to whittle some wood if you want to or whatever. Good enough for, you know, camping or cutting up some kindling or something like that. But now I have gone over all of the forged bits with a little bit of steel wool just to knock off all the dust and everything that would come off on your hands. And then I'm going to go on and put on some of this mineral oil, food safe mineral oil, just in case I want to like cut up an apple or something with this. And I'm just going to drop it on here. All right, all done. And there we have it, our finished result. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I really like the ridges on the back and just everything about it. I'm super happy for us never doing this before. This is amazing. My brother, he is still working on his knife. He's still doing the forging process of that. I went ahead and got it all done really quickly so that I can get this video out to you guys. So when his knife is done, I will make sure to take pictures and stuff of it and post it on the community and on TikTok and all that stuff so that you guys can see how his blade looks. It's going to look quite a bit different than mine, which I think is really cool that it's the same process, the same idea of blade, but a completely different result. So I look forward to showing you guys that, and thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. If you are an expert on this topic, if you're a blacksmith or anything, feel free to drop a comment and tell me what I'm doing wrong, because I'm sure it's 16 different things. I appreciate the feedback. Have a good one.